everyone. You probably know me already. I'm Alethea Smith, and today I'm going to kind of talk about all I've done through these past 4 years and how Edge helped me do it. Because if you know me, I'm very involved. I do a lot. So I thought I would just kind of talk about it all. Okay, so about me real quick. I'm a senior, and this is my 4th year in Edge. I'm involved in theater. I'm a thespian board officer. I was the former co-president of GSA for 4 years, and then I'm involved in many other clubs. So basically, throughout this whole presentation, I'm going to talk about what I've done these past 4 years, how Edge made it happen and influenced me, and then how important all of this is to who I am today. Going way back to freshman year, as some of you guys probably remember, the Don't Say Gay stuff was happening in Florida and kind of spreading all over the US. And so I had a senior friend come to me and ask me if I wanted to help form a protest. And I was in Edge, this was my first time in Edge, and before Edge, I was very timid because of COVID. I was a virtual kid my 8th grade year. And I can very confidently say that I would not have accepted the offer to help if it weren't for Edge. Especially because this year in Edge, we talked a lot about how all of us have a voice and how sometimes in a huge world, thinking about how many people there are in the world, it's hard to feel like you can have a say. And this really stuck with me a lot. And so I took the opportunity. So I was an organizer and a leader of the protest. There's a photo of me there with one of the signs. There's a video somewhere that my mom has on the news. And you can see me on a bench leading a chant, which is crazy to think about. And yeah, I think it's just so cool. Like my freshman year, and I would not have done it without Edge. And yeah, that's where it all started. We're gonna go to sophomore year now. So starting at the beginning of the year, there was I think this was sophomore year, I'm pretty sure. There was a VR communication training. It was like a beta class through William Jewell. And I heard on kickoff one day them talking about it, and I was like, oh my gosh, you know what, why not? And so I participated. I think I was the only one to fully complete it because they stopped coming in, and so I just kind of continued doing it. So again, another thing that I would not have under my belt without Edge, communication training. And like I said before, I was a very shy person coming into Edge. I didn't really know anyone, and I think Edge has really boldened me to take chances and to, example A, standing in front of you talking right now. And then going on, later in the year, like I think a month later, there is a Harvard Research Scholars opportunity. And I remember there's like an application process. I was like, you know what, why not? Again, taking a chance. And I have learned from Edge that I love learning. If it's guided, like I've learned to love learning. And I wanted to deepen my learning. And so I went through the application process, and I actually talked about Edge in the interview. And I remember because we went down this whole rabbit hole because the interviewer was just so intrigued with what Edge was. And I remember going into the class the first time because I got accepted into the class. And I remember it was only me and 2 other people from the US. This is like a class of like 25 people. And everyone else was from Asia or Europe. It was just a great opportunity that I would not have had without Edge. Again, I feel like I owe a lot to Edge, honestly. We'll get to that. Junior year. So I started getting more involved with volunteering because through Edge we've done volunteer opportunities, and it helped me realize how much I like volunteering. And so we got an email at the beginning of the year for like a voting volunteering opportunity. So I took that. I actually talked with some of the Republican and Democratic leaders of the Clay County area, and I want to go into like political science and journalism, so kind of putting myself out there. And so yes, voting, volunteering. I got an internship. The market manager for the local historic downtown Liberty Farmers Market, she noticed me at I think it was an exhibition night, and she's like, "You just seem very outgoing, and I would love for you to take you on as like an intern, a paid intern for the Liberty Farmers Market this summer." So I did that. And then Blue Star Awards. This is kind of in the theater realm, but I do a lot with leadership in the theater area, especially with costumes. And so I led my costume crew, and we got nominated and won the Costume Design Award. And it's kind of a loose connection, but leadership is a huge thing. I would not have considered myself a leader until an Edge is really encouraged to kind of like, not necessarily, to be your own leader. And so through all of that, I kind of found my voice and became the leader I am today. Okay, and now we're to senior year. This year I've done, again, a lot. I became a thespian board officer, something I would not have applied for. I got a paid internship, another one, through the Liberty Public Schools Fine Arts Department for something called Flight Crew. I work events inside the PAC. Again, leadership stood out to them, to my teacher, and she asked me if I wanted the internship, so that's pretty cool. And then we were nominated again for a Blue Star Award for a crew that I led designs with. And kind of getting more into like more savvy stuff. Everything that I am today is because of Edge, and I am so grateful for that. I would not be able to stand in front of you if I hadn't done Edge. I probably would be out there keeping to myself. I also wouldn't be as organized as I am today, and we'll get more into the organization with something coming up. So this is more into like what took multiple years, or throughout high school rather than sticking to 1 year. So working with Epic, I volunteer every 2 weeks at the beginning and end of the school year at Epic. Going more into the volunteer, Edge helped me find a love for volunteering. And then my freshman year, I realized the connections between Epic and Edge, and I went up to Mrs. Cummings one day. I'm like, do you see the connections? And she's like, yeah, I do. And I really wanted to do more collaboration. So I started an email chain. It kind of fell through because communication was a little iffy. But now whenever I go over to Epic all the time, I'm always talking about Edge and what projects are going on. And then they tell me about what projects they're doing, and then I'll give them like ideas I have. And sometimes they go through, and it's crazy. And now we collaborate with them a decent amount of the time, which is really cool. Leadership in theater. I became a quick rising leader in our theater department because I found my voice in Edge. And so now I've been a crew head and designer for costumes 6 times, crew head and designer for sound 1 time, assistant stage manager for 1 show, and last but not least, stage manager for a show, for 1 show. And then another thing, leadership and GSA. GSA is our Genders and Sexualities Alliance here at LHS. And in Edge, you're able to like explore, as we've seen, you're able to explore different pathways and what you are passionate about. And something I'm very passionate about is equity. And so I quickly became very involved in the Genders and Sexualities Alliance. I became one of 2 presidents of GSA my freshman year, and I stayed in that position for the rest of my high school career. And this last summer, I actually developed a whole organization method for the club leadership information, because I realized that the club wasn't very organized. And I learned from Edge that organization is a great life skill that is very important if you want to get anything done. So here's just some examples of everything I did this summer. Documents, folders, everything, lesson plans. So yeah, just some organization. And then a very important thing, Olivia came to me last year and was like, hey, I heard about this like equality prom thing going on in the area, and I know a lot of people are just like scared of safety and stuff, so I was wondering like if you wanted to maybe help me come up with something else. And so we proposed and executed an equality event. We did last year and this year. And yeah, that was a really cool experience. And here's the presentation actually. Our proposal slideshow and everything. Again, going into organization, we used statistics to back up what we were, our claims and everything. And yeah, I mean, here's the original prom that was happening that we were a little nervous about. But yeah, another thing that Edge has just taught me is when you see something that you want to change, just to make that change. Yes, and then yeah, that's all. So thank you for the past 4 years, and thank you for shaping me into who I am today. That's it.